Oh my God, it's actually happened. They're actually here. I can't believe it. The team can't. Can you believe it, team? Can you open the door? No. Is this actually happening? Yes. I don't think it is. I don't think it's happening. I think I'm still in bed. I think I've had too much Lemsip, and I think I'm spinning out, and I'm dreaming this. But just in case it's real, Tilly, give us the intro.
She's the Oscar-winning actor who's probably behind your favourite book adaptation on the telly, and he's the #1 best-selling author who's probably behind your other favourite book adaptation on the telly. Their new book, Gone Before Goodbye, is out today, so get that door open and prepare to swoon. It's Harlan Coben and Reese Witherspoon!
We can't believe you two are here. We can't believe it.
That's the best introduction, Reese. Is that?
It's the best introduction.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah, good.
I'm thrilled we're here all of a sudden.
It's our job to get you excited. So before we go any further, the only person in show business, Harlan, that might be busier than you is Reese. And the only person, Reese, who might be busier than you is Harlan.
That's
so fight.
That's kind of true.
Who would you say is the busiest? If you had to have a busy off, who might win?
What do you think, Reese?
I don't know. My mom always said if you want something done, just ask a busy person to do it. So
you're
that's why I asked Harlan Coben to write this book with me.
Other than this book, what do you currently have going on, Harlan?
Lazarus just came out on Amazon Prime yesterday with Bill Nye and Sam Claflin.
Yes,
Get out there.
I didn't have time to watch it because I was reading your book.
Okay, fair enough.
What else have you got going on, Reese?
I have the morning show on Apple TV.
Which is also back, season 4.
Yeah, I think we're on episode 5.
All right, okay, wow. Great. This book is off the chain. It's off the chain because there are loads of great books and there are loads of great writers around, aren't there? Thank God, But then when you get him involved, Reese, the first 100 pages, this is chills. This is so good. These characters are so good.
Thank you.
And it's flying along.
Yeah.
But there's detail in the cruise control thing going. Before we get on to him asking, how do you think he does it?
I have no clue.
I don't know either.
But I got a front row seat in his apartment.
Well, exactly. So
and it was amazing.
Nobody knows. Can we talk about the meeting, right? So when did Reese Witherspoon... Actually, you can't tell this bit because it's too good.
It's too braggy for me to tell. Let Reese tell.
Okay, it's not a humble brag.
No, there's no way to humble brag this one.
Reese, can you tell us how come you called Harlan?
Well, I had this idea to play this character. I basically had the character fleshed out and a little bit of how it would begin. And I thought, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So I had met Harlan at a conference 9 years ago, and he's my favorite thriller writer ever, along with making 38 incredible books and a million television shows. I was like, you call the best.
Yeah.
And I was why not?
So how does that work? So is it the daytime? Do you build yourself up for the call?
I did have to kind of psych myself up because he could have said no. And I was like, okay, brace for the no, brace for the no.
Because that's a big deal. And you want to be on your game for this call.
Oh, I was on it. I think I talked faster than I've ever talked my whole life.
Was it 11 o'clock in the morning? You've been to the gym, or do you know what I mean?
It was probably 10 o'clock in the morning. I called him. He started going, and he was quiet on the other side of the call. No. And he was like, do you think you can come see me in New York sometime soon? And I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And so then we had another in-person meeting, and it was just it was on.
Before we get to your apartment, which I'm very much into. By the way, this conversation is sponsored by Zillow. Right, straight off the bat. No, it's not really. But can you tell us your version of that particular part of your story?
Well, yeah, Reese called and said, I have an idea I want to discuss with you. And we'd agreed to meet in my apartment in New York to discuss it. I was, because Reese Witherspoon, so you're paying attention, but I was wary. I'm not that guy who collaborates on novels. It's just, that's not what I do.
Yep.
But then Reese came in, and when she pitched me this idea, I'm like, oh, damn, man, that's good. I can do something with that. And right away, I took out a yellow legal pad. We started to go back and forth. I said, what about this? She's like, what about that? 3 hours pass. We got a million notes. I think the first 100 pages we had pretty much outlined. And we were both looking at each other like, we got to do this. It was instantaneous, we knew.
Right. So it's already #1 on the New York Times bestselling list. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
This is as we speak, by the way, as I'm speaking now in my dream.
Thank you.
Harlan Coben, Reese Witherspoon, Gone Before Goodbye. I read it yesterday. Honestly, it's off the chain. I won't go on about it too much because it sounds like I'm being smoke up where the sun don't shine, but it's so good. Right, so you had the legal pad, right? We're back in the apartment,
okay.
Reese, right?
Yeah.
You've got the legal pad. What else is going on? We coffee, we wine, we sparkling water. Are there biscuits? What? Just because for me, it's all really important. Because if you're not having fun, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, we weren't like, eating or anything. We were just like drinking coffee, and I was just talking 100 miles a minute. And
Were
then
you
he
sitting
started.
in comfy chairs? Were you at a table?
We started on comfy chairs, and then we moved to the dining room table.
Let's do this.
To get to work. And
LFG.
actually, it's true. We were on there's two white chairs to start off with, and then we ended up moving to these dining and got down to work. Rolled up the sleeves and got right
Could have
to
gone
it.
either
He
way.
pulled out a legal pad and he started saying, well, what about this? What about this? What about facial recognition technology? And what about the FAA? And he just started adding on. Because all I really had was this really clear idea of the character.
Okay, so we're talking about Maggie.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Jane Bond before, or Jane Bourne before.
Yeah.
Maggie might be the answer.
Yeah, I feel like she's Jason Bourne meets, James Bond meets John Wick, kind of. Maybe not the John Wick of it all, but
Right.
she's quintessentially like the most accomplished surgeon in her field.
Okay, now before we dive into the detail, and not all of the detail because we don't want
Yeah.
any spoilers, of
No.
course, I love references in books, and I'm thinking there's two minds here, and often, they say, write what you know. So here's my questions to you. Who brought the wine content to the table? Because there's some good wine references
the
in there.
Bordeaux
He
stuff.
did.
I got it. That was me.
That was you.
He's
I've
a
been
wine
to that.
guy.
All
I've been to that particular. We were, you use what you know. So
Yeah.
we wanted to travel around
Look
the
at you
world.
smiling at the mention of
we
wine.
had
It's so
Russia,
cool.
we had Dubai, and then I was like, how about? Because Reese was like, let's go to Russia first, and where it's cold. Then we go to Dubai, where it's really hot. Reese always thinks cinematically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how about Bordeaux? We can have a little bit of wine for
course.
the next spot.
Right, so it's 1-0 to you. All right, who brought the motorbike aspect to the?
He did.
Oh, 2-0 to. Oh, Harlan. Give a girl a chance, will you?
That's about it, though. I think if you ask whatever else you ask, it's going to be
All right.
Reese.
Okay.
No, I thought that was a good counter to this, really sharp female surgeon
Yeah.
who's American. He brought this biker character who's sort of her foil.
By the way, Pork
kind
Chop,
of partner.
the Zen biker.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a bit of that going on?
When you name,
Who
and you
doesn't want to
name
know
a
that
pork
guy?
chop, yeah.
Yeah.
No phone.
No phone.
Okay, bit Bill Murray going, takes phone calls from a booth.
That's right.
That kind of thing. Tell us a bit more about Pork Chop. Come on.
But we named him Pork. It's funny. We named him Pork Chop, and I have a friend named Pork Chop who I was sort of basing it a little bit on. And then we said, well, we'll change the name at the end. And it was like, no, their name worked. We tried like Wolf. No, that sounds terrible. We got to keep Pork Chop. So I called Pork Chop and said, do you mind if we use your name? Because I'm all for it, man. Go for it, dude.
Tell us about the real Pork Chop.
The real Pork Chop's an artist in Asbury Park, New Jersey. He
Okay.
does this amazing street art.
Dude.
All kinds of stuff.
Wanna
He's a
go to
dude-
his
Yes,
house?
he was oh, you want to meet Pork Chop.
Of course I do.
You
I
want
want to meet Pork
the real
Chop now.
Yeah.
In fact, you two carry on. I'm going to go and book a
I'll
flight
have
to
him
New York.
on the show tomorrow.
Right, so we will get into a bit of sort of family tree kind of thing. So Maggie to Pork Chop to Maggie is the relationship is.
He's the father-in-law.
Okay, father-in-law, and so that'll be Mark as well. Should we just name a few of the main characters
Yeah,
here?
Maggie and Mark.
Maggie and Mark.
Husband and wife, but he's gone missing.
Oh, he's gone
and
missing.
she's down on her luck. She's lost her medical license.
Both medical professionals.
Yes, they
okay,
were
both war heroes in their own way.
war heroes and now in private practice.
Who's Trace?
Trace is their friend who co-worker who works with them who's also missing. And when we open up, Maggie's life is in disarray. She's lost her license. She's got nothing. And then she gets an offer to do sort of an illegal surgery for a very rich oligarch. And when she goes overseas and does the surgery and he vanishes, boom, we are into it.
And it's like I say, it starts at a sprint and it just gets faster from there. So she's not a surgeon for hire per se, but she becomes one. Who's Sharon?
Sharon is her sister, who's sort of a tech genius who worked in the military for a long time.
Right, now we need to tell the LA Times that because they say that she may take on this overseas surgeon for hire job to pay off her friend's debts. It's her sister, LA Times.
It's her sister's dad, yeah.
Read the book.
We can't complain. They gave us a very
No,
good
I
review.
know.
So in that case,
I'm
we don't
just
care about the
playing.
mistakes. I
I'm
know
just
that, Chris.
playing. Right, how come the cars get in the book? How come the Ferrari 250 GTO gets in the book? Reese?
Well, because we have to have sexy cars.
No, I know, but who brings that
Bugattis?
car to the
He
table?
did.
Was that me or you? No.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't know where I began and Reese ended and where Reese began.
Well, you
and
must
I
know
ended.
because you
We
said
just
there
were
are
talking every
36
day.
limited edition. So you're perfect with that car.
Yeah. Well, there's something called research you
Yeah,
can do
I
nowadays.
know, but you
too.
know loads of stuff. The Mona Lisa story, which is a great story.
Yeah.
Who brought that to the table?
That's Harlan.
Wow, you're really hitting me today.
Sorry, Reese. Yeah, so
I just thought that would be a fun thing to throw in. It's always been something that fascinated me. That maybe, especially with the theft at the Louvre this week, that Mona Lisa might not be the real Mona Lisa.
This happens all the time.
Isn't it crazy too? Because there was stuff about AI chatbots that feels at the time when we were writing it felt futuristic, and now it's really here. And the Mona Lisa.
All that stuff was Reese. All the surgery stuff was Reese. All the idea of making her a plastic surgeon is Reese. She came. She would send me at all hours. I would get articles on this newfangled research and longevity centers and all these things that Reese would be reading about. We texted and emailed like every day. We were obsessed with this story.
So if I said to you, because you just mentioned chatbots, I've put G-Bot because I didn't want to give away what the G stood for.
Okay.
Is that? How much do we talk about?
No, you don't.
You don't, do you? You don't.
Just that there's a big AI twist.
Exactly.
Were you surprised by it, Chris?
Yeah, of course I was surprised. But you're a genius writer. Otherwise you wouldn't have sold 90 million books. Oh, no, I wasn't surprised. You must do better, Harlan. This 90 million book sales, that was just some kind of fluke. Gee, what is wrong with the guy? Jeez.
I know.
When you are writing a book, now that you've co-written a book with Harlan here, obviously you will have one eye, like you say. Harlan says you think very cinematically, you think in pictures. You're brilliant you've got a great nose for optioning books, haven't you?
Thank you.
You've done this before many times.
Yes.
Haven't you just recently picked up another super option?
Broken Country.
That was the one.
Yeah, by Claire Leslie Hall.
And I could ask you how you option books. We've got time, might get onto that, might not. But if you're writing one, obviously you can sort of kill two birds with one stone. Was that in there?
Oh, you mean, do I have the right to the option?
No, just like, are you writing with one eye on the screenplay? Or?
Well, that's just how I think because I've been making movies for 35 years. I just think in 3-act structure, and I think from a character perspective. So I come in and I kind of bring a very clear idea of who she is and how she walks through the world.
Yeah, and I hear Harlan now and again, Reese becomes Maggie and Maggie becomes Reese, and you can't spot the join sometimes.
Yeah, well, sometimes...
How was that for you, my friend?
Her voice would change a little bit, and she'd look off, and her mannerisms would change when we were in a room. I'm like, uh-oh, I got Maggie now in the room. My actual character is in the room. And I would start pounding her with questions about what Maggie would be thinking. Right. It was like having my actual character come to life sometimes. That's how, because she's an actress, that's how she works. She almost becomes the character she's talking about. It's kind of cool.
Now, you have alluded to the fact that, Reese, that Maggie, it could be a super TV show like a Netflix kind of thing or a Prime Video kind of thing or whatever, or it could be cinematic, or it could be both, of course, nowadays, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And you also said something really interesting in one of the interviews that I heard, which was, well, maybe lots of women will get to play Maggie.
Yeah.
And would that be like, we were talking about it before on the air, in the first hour of the show, could that mean then that every time there's a Maggie story, there's a different actress, so we get loads of different Maggies?
That would be so cool.
How cool would that be?
It'd be so cool because I think sometimes the characters sort of transcend what the actor is bringing to it and and I think this world definitely, I can think of so many of my friends I'd love to play Maggie. So many. And
they'd all have a go, and they could, when's my Maggie? Oh, 2027, 2031. You could have a Maggie shower, couldn't you? And you get the 12 women that you want to play Maggie over the next 12 years, and then I play a game of, I don't know,
like Doctor Who,
Spoof
Dr.
or
McCabe.
something.
Yeah, Doctor
How
Who.
much fun would that be?
Yeah.
And also, you wouldn't then get an actor as good, good or bad or anywhere in between, brilliant or rubbish or anywhere in between, entrenched in the role, which sometimes can cause an impasse, can't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's a great role that, so many people could fall into. And I think the world is so vivid and interesting. So.
And, because you've got to write it all.
Oh, I got a partner. I mean,
you got a partner.
Yeah, I got a partner who's very, who I can call and talk to and bounce ideas off of all day long.
All right. So, so Maggie is... she's been struck off. What does that mean for people who don't know? She's been struck off. She can never practice surgery again.
So she's being sued for malpractice,
right,
and she's having her medical license reviewed.
And we don't really know why in the beginning.
You don't know why.
Yeah, we can guess. We can make lots of guesses, but we don't know why. So then she's all forlorn. She's all sad. She's depressed for loads of different reasons. Then she goes and sees her sister, and her sister's they're both in a very similar situation, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
And then her old old tutor, her old professor, comes at a reunion in honor of her mum. It's all in there. And he says, "Look, can you come and see me because I want to talk to you about something that may be useful to you." Right? I don't know. You both give me that look now. You both give me that look now. Don't go too far, Sonny.
Okay.
It's good that you've read the book, but you can't go too far here. And then she's asked to go to this meeting, and she says, "Look, I'm not going to go to this meeting." And then he says, "I'll give you $20,000 to go to the meeting." Now that just gets you. That's at the end of one chapter. That goes, "What's the meeting?" And she can't say no. So there's no question here. I'm just getting excited.
I love hearing you pitch it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's about to say, we'll just sit here.
I
Go,
want to
baby.
read that book.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
So she ends. We can say that she's.
Yes, you can go.
No, you say the next. I say as much as you want to going forward now.
Good. What happens when
Well,
she gets
she ends up getting this offer she can't refuse to go to Russia and perform a surgery on a very wealthy man and his girlfriend. And after the surgery is done, he disappears. And out of nowhere, people start shooting at her, and she has to run.
Right. Okay. And in the meantime, all her debts have been sorted.
Yeah, her debts are sorted. And there's suddenly millions of dollars in the bank, and she doesn't know what happened.
Debts sorted. Back. She can go back to being a surgeon again. They're just going to sort it all out like it never happened. Plus a load of money in the bank.
Except she's stuck being shot at.
Yeah.
She has to run for her life.
Yeah, obviously there are issues. Otherwise there'd be no more chapters. Yeah. And then you talked about research to do with cars and other things.
Yeah.
Have you done research to do with these kind of things happening around the world? Are there really surgeons for hire?
Oh yeah, Reese. That's
how
how Reese,
where
that's
the
how Reese came up
idea
with it.
came from. I was reading another book that had this kind of illegal surgery by an American surgeon in another country, and so I started asking doctors who I'd meet at dinner parties. I said, have you ever been to another country? And I finally got somebody who said, "Yeah, I've actually done that. How did you know?" And so I said, "Can I take you to lunch?" And he told me about all these surgeries in different countries he had done and how scared he was in certain territories, because sometimes they take your passport. Sometimes it feels safe. Sometimes it feels really dangerous.
Does it happen to writers?
I've never been asked to go to Russia and write something for somebody or any place else. No, I got to be honest.
It's definitely going to happen.
Now it will probably. Yeah. It's funny because we hang out with different doctors, obviously, because the first 3 doctors I asked all said, "Oh yeah, I do illegal surgeries overseas." So we hang out with different people for sure, but it's actually fairly common that they do this sort of thing. They go overseas and they get this money under the table to do surgeries.
And I mean, is it always illegal, or can it be legal?
No, it can be legal.
Yeah.
It's not really licensed to practice in other countries.
Right.
You're not meant to be going.
And it's sexier to say illegal surgeries.
Right. And because the equivalent happens, and you mention it in the book. I won't say who because it's in the book. But rock stars do their version of. It's not illegal, obviously, and rock and roll's not illegal everywhere. It might be verging on illegal somewhere for all the wrong reasons because of art and all this kind of stuff. But it does happen in other things, doesn't it? In sports, this is what sports professionals do. They tour the world anyway on their
Sure, they go to private parties. They're paid, enormous sums of money to perform at different places or just to have lunch with people sometimes.
Totally. And I'm sure that like tennis players are often, offered, Reese, without naming names, what kind of other stuff goes on?
I've heard of people playing tennis on the roof of a building in Dubai for just an
all
hour
the money.
for millions and millions of dollars.
That's kind of the world we want to expose. I mean, we had so much fun with all these rich parties and these expensive places. And, it's just part of, especially Reese sees things so cinematically that these big parties that they were throwing. And we spoke to friends who had been to certain ones and things like that. And we're trying to capture that feel.
Because I know some chefs who have flown to boats to cook one lunch.
Yeah, I
for
heard about
all
a rap
the money.
star going to a bar mitzvah in Texas and wanting to be paid in cash $3 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is incredible. And like you say...
It's fascinating.
Book two.
And it's also, I really like the idea of this super ethical surgeon, this woman who's lived by a certain ideology for years and years, being thrust into a world where it's lawless and that money can buy anything, including her services.
Yeah, when she gets to the oligarch's palace, it's like Alice in Wonderland. She's just going down that rabbit hole.
Palace in Wonderland.
Palace in Wonderland. There we go.
Gosh.
Oh my good, Palace Alice. Yeah, that's good.
And because you've started in Russia and you're from from America, and she falls asleep on the plane, or does she fall asleep on the plane? Has she been drugged on the plane? All that kind of stuff.
Right.
You've gone global already.
Yeah.
So Yellowstone's big enough. Don't get me wrong. Yellowstone's big enough, but you've started it around the world, so you can continue going around the world. And like you say, are you gonna? It's already number one. I mean, I'm sure there was a multiple book deal going on anyway between. He wouldn't give you two a multiple book deal, but the next story has to be written now. Where might you go next? Do you think?
Oh my God! I mean, we have a million ideas, but we haven't formally said we'd write another book.
Just focus, and even when you were talking about before about the movie or TV show, we actually said, I told Reese in the beginning, we can't write this thinking of a movie. It's the kiss of death. If you write a book saying, "Ooh, this is going to make a really cool movie," it's the kiss of death for a book. So we have to just focus on making this book as great as it can be, and then we'll worry about the other stuff will all fall into place. And Reese was right on board with that. All we cared about, and still all we're focused on, is making sure you're taking this book to bed tonight at 11 o'clock. You're only going to read for 10 minutes. 4 in the morning, bang, we got you. Yeah. You're going to curse us out in the morning. That's what Reese and I want.
Well, I know that was the focus for the first book, but that's done now.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody's saying, like, so those rules are put to bed. It's new rules
Does
now.
Chris want to be our agent, do you think?
I don't think you need a new agent somehow. I'm just excited for you guys.
Oh,
I'm really excited for you guys.
Thank you.
And if you think about how Barbara Broccoli and her brother Michael got together. Oh, look at you nodding. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
No, I don't.
Well, the Ian Productions with the Bond Productions.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
And they were literally partners in crime until they just sold to Amazon.
Right.
You know, you two could be like that for Maggie, and this could take over your lives. I know you like to sort of diversify and stay diversified. Are you getting that kind of vibe, or am I getting too excited on your behalf?
No, I mean, that would be a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had such a great time creating the character. I can imagine the character in a lot of different worlds, and I mean, just hearing your response is making me excited.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We've been obsessed with this book and character, and now that it's finally out, we're so like we had this thing we've been playing with and letting the whole world see it. It's been very exciting.
You're such
to
a
see the
dude.
reaction. I am.
You are.
What does that mean?
Dude,
You're
so
such
true.
a dude, man. Look at you with your waistcoat and your sharp shirt on and your sleeves rolled up like you mean
Writing
business,
about
and your
motorcycle
jeans.
people.
You know, you're writing from the waist up and you're partying from the waist down, and I like it. I like it, Harlan, and I
you,
like
Chris.
you, Harlan.
You're a good man.
Do you know Stanley Tucci?
Yes, I don't know him. No.
You look like he's like his
giant version of it. I
brother.
get that a
Yeah,
lot,
you
yeah.
just look like. I mean, he seems a sweet guy, very
Don't
clever
know
guy.
him. Yeah, Reese
Very
probably
sharp.
knows him.
I know Stanley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're typing away, is it in the apartment?
Yeah, sometimes it's in the apartment. I can write any place, though. I've written the back of Ubers. I've written every place you can think of.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah, airplanes. I've written every place you can think of.
Is there a story there?
Yeah, the back of the Uber.
When I was
story's
finishing
funny.
the book The Stranger, I took in my first time I took an Uber into New York, and I felt guilty about spending the money. So I started to kind of write quickly in the back.
Offset.
Yeah, because you make you feel you're trying to justify it in your own head. And I wrote really well. So for 3 weeks, I just took Ubers all day long with me and finished the book The Stranger in the back of an Uber. So that's what I did for 3 weeks. Every day I just
The Uber
took
scenes.
Ubers all day. Yeah, the
What
Uber
effect
scenes.
did the Uber have on the
little
content?
car sickness? Yeah, there's a little car sickness at the end of the book.
Did you write? What did you write on?
I write by hand a lot. Yeah.
Oh, did
Still
you
old
actually?
school.
Longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's something freeing and childlike about writing by hand.
Right.
And also, this is a little lesson for people who want to write.
Come on.
Now, when you put it on the computer, your first draft is already your second draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't count it as pages until it's on the computer, but I write, say, 10, 15 pages at a time on paper. Then I take that paper and I put it on so already my first draft is my second draft. And I was able to think like a child because I wrote with my hand on paper. That's my little lesson for those who want to try to write a book.
He's quite special, this one, isn't he, Reese?
He's so special. I feel
He's
so
so
lucky. I
special.
have to tell you. I told him thank you this morning because I feel like this is a dream come true, and he made it possible.
Yeah, you're like
Wow,
the genie, man.
Wow, this is the best show I've ever been on.
That's what we wanted
I
you
just
to
wanna
think.
sit here
But
quietly.
we can't, like you say, we can't set out to make you think that. We just hope you think that because of the way we chat to you.
Wow, something.
Pretty cool. You've hung out with comedians. You've hung out with like sports pros. You've hung out with rock stars. They've all got their own language, haven't they?
Yeah.
What's it like with writers?
It's just the best because I don't know, they live kind of in their imagination, and anything's possible when you hang out with people who think like that.
Yeah. And what do you think of Reese's gang?
Reese thinks, well, first of all, Reese thinks like a writer, but she's also one of the great storytellers. I think of all the books she's turned into movies, all the TV shows, all the movies, all the characters she's created. She really is a creator and a storyteller. And the other thing that's amazing about Reese, besides everyone knows she's a great businesswoman, but I could also see how well she handles people. Like she knew exactly when to push me, when to give me space. Like the best coach I've ever had in my life.
Interesting.
The best. If she could be. I mean, my brother's a big fan of Fulham. and I keep saying Fulham should hire Reese as their coach. She knows exactly how to get the most from people. I've never seen anything
Reese
like it.
Lasso.
Yeah, Reese Lasso.
Yeah.
Our next book.
I'm in.
But she knows exactly, she just, it's amazing to watch all of her skill set come to life. And, she actually changed this ending too. I had this ending in mind, and Reese comes to me one day and says, I have a suggestion for the ending. And I'm like, whoa, no one touches my endings. And she was right. So we did change it.
People skills. Share your people skills with us. What is he talking about, and how do you do it? For the sake of anybody listening who runs a team, or runs a couple of people, or runs 1,000 people, or as guys here, give us some super hacks.
I mean, work with the best, and then you just let them do their thing.
Well, no, because he says you pushed and
Well,
pulled.
listen, there were like one time, maybe 2 times he texted me and he was like, I am stuck. And so I said, I'm dropping whatever I have to do. I'll call you in 5 minutes. Picked up the phone and I just let him talk. And he was like, it could be this or it could be that. I was like, okay. Tell me what happens if A happens. Okay, tell me what happens with which feels better. And then we kind of just made a big decision, right? Be decisive. And then let him go. He was like, okay, stop talking. I'm going to go off and write.
Wow. Because you've never had that before.
Never.
So what was that like?
It's like having a piece of my brain that came to life.
Was it
Instead of talking to myself, I had Reese Witherspoon to talk to.
Because it's hard. You sold 90 million books. It's hard for you to have a mentor or a partner. Was that a relief, a release, a bit of both?
I thought I was terrified of the whole idea, frankly, and I don't think I would do it with anybody else, or it'd be very hard. But Reese, that's part of Reese's skill set. Think of how many movies, books, and TV shows she's put together. And I think part of that, maybe the part people don't know, is the fantastic people skills it takes to make everybody feel important, everybody feel wanted, and get the best work out of everybody, which is what she does, one of her talents.
So where's Maggie going to go next? MI6. You talked about MI6 before. You've talked about different things before. I mean, this is it's like a big pilot show, isn't it? It's a big pilot book for her. So she starts off as a surgeon. She's got an amazing backstory. She's got a brilliant sort of ring of steel around her, and she's got all the different characters, who give her a moral backbone. She's got a moral backbone anyway, but she's got a bit of zen, a bit of calm. She knows what real love is. She knows what real loss is. So she's got all the things you need, all the juice you need to be a decent human being, a vulnerable human being, a right and a wrong human being, and I know what this is because I've read the book. Is she going to work for the government next? Is she going to go undercover next? Come on, give us a few headlines of.
We don't know yet.
But that's so funny. That's exactly what you're saying is how Reese spoke to me about this character. Like, this is going to be the setup, and then we can go.
I was hiding under the sofa.
But it's startling. That's exactly how Reese was talking. Like, this is going to be the setup. She originally is already thinking 2 or 3 books ahead.
That's really.
I don't. I'm just intuition. And also, I'm trying to get out of my own way and just genuinely read the book, and just love it and
really
have an appreciation for it. I'm excited. You can tell I'm excited for you. What
I
happened?
feel like you're the kind of reader I am. I don't read a book. I am in a book.
That's the problem. So people say to me, like, so Richard Ashcroft has a new album out, and we have a friend called Sam Ryder who has a new album out, and we have
Richard Ashcroft. Wow,
yeah,
he's great.
We have new albums out, right?
Oh my God.
We listen to music, and they say, "What's your?" I have to be very careful when I listen to music because I can't cope with it.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I literally, I'm just tearing up.
I know, I'm the
it
same.
tears me apart.
Yeah.
And when if I'm reading, if I'm eating, if I'm walking, if I'm talking, whatever, we're all in or we go, go big or go home.
Right. And as you get you've read a lot, and over time you have your taste, right?
Totally.
I also don't get me started about it. This is what I always talk to young people about too. It's like, don't let an algorithm pick your taste. Your taste is an accumulation of every book you've ever read, every album you've heard from start to finish. Yeah, you have to make your own taste.
What do you read for fun?
For fun, I read a lot.
Yeah, I do as well.
Like I was at a Daunt bookstore yesterday, kind of looking, going, okay, what's next?
She's a book nerd. I mean, that's
I
the thing
really
people know about Reese
By the way.
Witherspoon. She's a nerd in general. Like, she loves research. She's constantly sending me articles. I've never seen a person who reads more books. Reese's book club is this huge thing. I don't know how it is.
It's doing all right.
Yeah. It just makes careers. I mean, she's found so many different authors and things like that. It's one, we're lucky that her passion also translates to making, we all know we should be reading more, right? We all know, put our phones down, stop scrolling, read more books. We all know it's good for us. And I think, it's one of the great things that Reese advocates for.
So I started this writing competition about 15 years ago called 500 Words, and it's a nationwide competition for kids, 13 and under.
That's great.
Yeah, and you're only allowed to write 500 words, and it's amazing. And so the Queen is now she's our head judge,
I love
and
that.
it's phenomenal. And I've always thought it should go to America.
Yeah.
I would love to just not hijacking you here.
No,
I
that's
wasn't
a
even going to
great
talk about it.
That's a great idea.
We
have to increase literacy rates because
she has a charity called the Reading Room.
Yeah.
Which
I
is,
know Harlan works.
I've told Reese, I've done the Queen's Reading Room events.
Right.
It's amazing, an amazing.
So if the Queen came a call in with 500 Words USA, would you be interested?
I would love that.
Yeah.
Would you? Because I own it. You can have it for nothing. $1. I don't care.
Well, I think the whole point is to get kids interested in words and how we craft them. And, using your words is what we tell little kids, use your words.
Yeah.
But it's important
And
for
also
adults,
gamify
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gamify it.
And the Queen's Reading Room also scientifically proven that reading for you is good for you. If reading at the end, 5 minutes a day even. All you need is 5 minutes a day with a book. It improves your mental health. It de-stresses you. All the things that the Queen's done scientifically, the Queen's Reading Room has done, which is one of the reasons I love that organization.
Yeah, she's so into it. Because you can't sort of phone that stuff in, otherwise it's not going to work.
No, she has the real passion for it. Like Reese has the real passion for it. You need people who are advocates who have that genuine passion. The Queen Camilla does, as does Reese.
3 years ago, we had 1.1 million entries just in the UK.
Wow.
So, and it really does work. It flies. It absolutely flies.
Cool.
Beautiful.
It's so cool. So you there you are with your fancy schmancy apartment, right? so I'm listening to your story about when you met and you talked about this for 3 hours and you weren't quite sure whether he was into it, and then you said after 2.5 hours, is this a yes? You went, is it a yes? I've already written the first 5 chapters in my head and on this legal pad, and I'm thinking about the apartment, right? Because I'm visual, blah 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 blah, and I'm thinking, I hope it's this, I hope it's that. And by the way, I won't say where it is or anything like that. But it's very seldom things turn out as you wanted them to be in your head. And it's exactly what I wanted it to be.
It is. It was sort of
So
like
well
that.
done you, my
thank
friend.
you. It was a dream come true for me also.
Right, so dream come true for you,
Yeah.
overlooking Central Park,
Yeah.
right, on the corner, blah, blah, blah. You are so influential now, you're so powerful, and you wield your power in the right way. You create opportunities for women, for people who would never have had these opportunities before. You make all this great stuff for us to consume, for us to watch. Thank you, both of you, right?
Thank you.
Did you, in your wildest dreams, ever think you would get the chance to do this when you were 12, 13, 14 years old?
Oh, my God, no way. But I did scribble a little book when I was 9 years old or something.
Well, I want to see it.
I think I always wanted to do this. And I think when I entered the movie world, I was really young, 14 years old. There weren't a lot of female screenwriters. There weren't a lot of female directors. So I kind of found my way in. But I think anything's possible, and hopefully this will inspire a lot of young girls to
When you
write
played
more.
that lovely tribute you paid to Diane Keaton
Yeah.
the other day, was that right at the beginning of a tipping point for you?
Yeah, I was 15 years old. She was the
just take us
second
back to that-
director ever hired me.
Right. So what was that moment? Where was that?
I was in LA and I auditioned for her, and I was very young and very naive, and she just sort of anointed me and she said, "You're next," and it was really cool to have someone who I respected so much and was such a unique character in the world choose me.
Yeah, and she said you'd hired for day 1, day 2, day 3. And
Yeah.
a real connection there.
She was wonderful and taught me so many things and kept checking in on me as a young girl and seeing that I was safe and happy and on the right path.
Was it your energy? Was it your spark? What do you think landed with her that day?
She said it was my accent because I had a really heavy Southern accent when I was little. So I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
No, I know.
so.
I've heard the clip.
Yeah.
It's
So-
really funny. I'm sure there's more than that going on as well, because you are a fireball, aren't you?
Well, but sometimes it takes somebody else noticing something in
Course.
you to feel like, oh, okay, maybe I do have something.
And we talked about Bobby Brown before.
Yeah.
So Bobby Brown ended up, creating this $1 billion line for Estee Lauder, and then she had a 25-year non-compete, which she served like a prison sentence, and then opened Jones Road, which she named after a road she was driving past. You know that story?
Yeah,
She's on the way to a meeting. I mean, how cool is that story? Again, chills, right?
Yeah.
And it's
but
doing so well, Jones Road. It's taken off.
unbelievably well.
Yeah.
She's big on YouTube, and she's made for TikTok, even though TikTok didn't know when it started itself, and all that kind of stuff. And she ended up making the makeup, but she wanted to started off as a makeup artist. You've ended up making all the movies, almost because you sort of had to, or you felt like a duty to. And as far as your writing is concerned, and now you're making all the films and you're producing, you've got all these shows. Lazarus was out yesterday, and you've got other shows coming out too. Did you have your version of the 12 and 13-year-old Reese Witherspoon, and where was that, and where were you? And can you believe that you've got that apartment?
I was a bit later in life. No, every day, frankly, is a pinch myself dream. It really is. Still, every day. Every time a new book comes out, I slowly open the box, I take it out, I picture it, I hold it in my hands for a second. And I was telling Reese one of the cool things about what she's just done, she's never got to experience before. So when Lazarus comes out or whatever, when I first go to set, I see, Bill Nye and Sam Claflin and Alexandra, all these fantastic actors, and Jim Nesbitt and Ruth Jones and all the people I've been lucky enough to work with, Michelle Keegan, over the years. And I see them on set, and I think to myself, I had this little idea, just this little nugget of an idea in my house in New Jersey, and now all these people are bringing it to life. And this will be the first time Reese gets to have that, where she had this little idea about a doctor named Maggie McCabe, and now she gets to see how the world is reacting to the book coming out. That's still so satisfying and so gratifying. And I know I'm enormously grateful. Like, you can walk into a bookstore, there's thousands of books you can choose. The fact that you're choosing ours, we both take a great deal of pride in that, and we feel responsible every day. Still, I feel that way. I know Reese does too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's to you too.
We're grateful,
here's to you to your book and everything you do, because you are brilliant for business.
Thank you so much,
thank
man.
you.
Thank you, Chris.
Can we please hear it for the amazing Harlan Coben, Gone Before Goodbye, Reese Witherspoon? It's already #1 on the Sunday Times, Freudian, prophetic, New York Times bestseller list. It will be #1 around the world come the weekend. Oh my gosh. Seriously, you two are so good at what you do.